Next item is Secretary of State, issue number 15, California Business Connect. And this is primarily just an update for now. Thank you.
Yes. Betsy Bogart with the California Secretary of State's office. I am the chief of the Business Programs Division and co-sponsor for the California Business Connect project. We are seeking the continuation of the California Business Connect project funding of $7.759 million coming from the Business Fees Fund and the Business Modernization Fund. As you may recall, California Business Connect will automate and improve our paper-based process, eliminate delays, and allow business to file and request copies of records online 24/7. As we reported in April, the California Business Connect project is in the design phase and is behind schedule. With schedule slippage and potential budget increases, the Secretary of State has partnered with the Department of Technology and are currently in negotiations with the vendor on next steps. Those negotiations continue. We met with Department of Technology last week, and they're continuing to meet with the vendor this week. And so we're hoping to make progress and be able to come back to the committee with a report on what the next steps will be. And in addition, we will continue to report quarterly to the JLBC on the status of California Business Connect as we move forward. And we're here to answer any questions, but we do ask for your continued funding to maintain the status quo.
Thank you. Any comments from LAO or Finance? Any comments or suggestions or questions from committee members?
So I guess you're looking at, you're 15 months behind right now?
That's the current proposed schedule from the vendor, yes. And we obviously had concerns with that, and so reaching out to Department of Technology to seek their expertise and experience, and are talking to the vendor now on what our next steps should be.
So is it vendor's responsibility or your office? What was the glitch?
What was the glitch in the time delay?
Yes.
I think they underestimated the effort that was required to bring the project forward.
So all on the vendor?
Mostly on the vendor. I'm sure we have learned a lot in the last year as well.
That's a pretty expensive lesson.
Well, we're going to be holding this item open, so moving forward. And thank you for some of the background that was provided on this item. Moving forward. Well, I'm sorry, are there any public comments on this item? Moving forward, we're going to go to the online motor voter registration proposal.
Good morning. Kim Gauthier, Deputy Secretary for Operations at the Secretary of State's office. Included in the May revise is a proposal for $2.35 million for upgrades necessary to the Secretary of State's online systems and also the DMV's systems to improve compliance with the National Voter Registration Act and make it easier for registrants in California to register to vote at the Department of Motor Vehicles and to have that information forwarded electronically to the Secretary of State's office. As you can probably see in the proposal, it is intended that $1.25 million of the $2.3 be given to DMV for the necessary changes to their systems, and the remaining $1.1 million would be for the Secretary of State's office and their upgrades and system changes. And I'm open to any questions you may have.
Any comments from LAO or Finance? Great. Any comments from any of us at the dais? Mr. Wilk.
Sure. So, given the history of database management and IT systems in state agencies, how are we going to guarantee that we're not going to be registering to vote people who can't legally vote, given the fact that last year we approved AB 60?
So currently, the way that it works, of course, is that if a registrant testifies that or declares under penalty of perjury that they are eligible to vote and meet the requirements of eligibility, then that person would be registered to vote. The way this process would work, though, is that the registrant would be presenting at the DMV, and at the same time as their interaction with the Department of Motor Vehicles would be providing citizenship information or AB60 documentation for an AB60 license. Of course, if it's an AB60 licensee, then they would not be asked if they also would like to register to vote. If it were someone who had presented citizenship information, then they would be given the chance to register to vote also.
So just to clarify then, it's a different application. And that ensures,
I'm sorry.
just for the benefit of the question at hand, I just want to clarify.
I want to be sure I understand the question, though. Are you asking whether or not the form that is filled out by the applicant is a different application for an AB60 license or a driver's license?
I was trying to clarify it with you. So you tell me, at what point is it a different document that ensures that one is for non-AB60 and what is for AB60 qualified individuals?
Hello, I'm Jana Lean, Chief of Elections. It is our understanding that the Department of Motor Vehicles, when they supply the information to the applicant, they would supply different documentations if they are a citizen or a non-citizen. So they could apply for a specific type of license. So based on the information that's provided to the Department of Motor Vehicles, they basically go in two directions. So it's the information that the applicant is providing to Department of Motor Vehicles. Does that answer your question?
And I don't want...
Non-citizen, okay, yes?
It is also understanding that DMV uses one form currently called the DL44 for all applicants to apply for a driver's license or an AB60 driving privilege.
Okay, I've got a follow-up question. How many other states register voters through the DMV, and has it made an impact in terms of voter participation? Because what I see happening is we're going to have all these people on the rolls who continue not to vote. It's going to actually drive up the cost of campaigns because people are not going to know that. So I'm just curious if there's any evidence that this does increase voter participation.
There have been numerous studies. All of the states, including Washington, D.C., has the National Voter Registration Act as requirements for all the DMVs to register voters. And yes, there was many different research projects that indicates if people are registered to vote, they're more likely to turn out and actually participate in elections.
I'd love to see that because I don't believe that's true. I think it's like the lottery, those stupid commercials where you can't play if you can't win if you don't play, but your chances of winning the lottery are 1 in gazillion. And I think it's the same thing. I think people are going to get registered, but they're very few of them are going to vote. It's going to drive up the cost of campaigns. I'm just not sure this is worth it, but thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for the comments. I think it's always a positive to be inclusive, and hopefully if there are going to be further communication from campaigns to constituents, it might interest them to participate in the process. So I think any form of expanding the voter database is a good investment. So with that, there's a recommendation to approve as budgeted. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Nazarian?
Aye.
Wilk?
Nay.
Cooper?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the Department of Veterans Affairs, issue number 17, Greater Los Angeles and Ventura County Veterans Homes.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Pune Simpson, Chief Financial Officer of the Veterans Homes. Before you today is a proposal for us to return some savings we anticipate for next fiscal year as a result of the West LA Kitchen project and the deferment of the implementation of a program in Lancaster and Ventura. So we ask for your support.
Thank you. Great. Let's call, any comments from LA or Finance? Oh, any public comments? Roll call, please.
The motion is to approve as budgeted. Nazarian?
Aye.
Wilk.
Aye.
Cooper. Okay.
Thank you. Next item, Department of Consumer Affairs, issue number 18, Breeze update. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. The May revise in front of you is for the Breeze project, requesting an additional $1.95 million due to the revised schedule and signing the implementation contract for Release 2. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
There were some items that one of our colleagues had some concerns with, but unfortunately, because of a schedule conflict, is not here. So what I'd like to first hear is what are the comments from LAO and Finance, because I'm wondering if I may be inclined to ask for this item to be held open until Thursday, so that when one of our other colleagues is here, some of his questions and concerns can be addressed. But if I can have LAO chime in, please.
Helen Kirstein with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We don't have any concerns with the May proposal, which is for the augmentation as a result of a delay in the approval of the Section 11 letter. However, just to remind the committee, we did have some concerns on the spring finance letter. Specifically, we suggested that the positions that are being requested for the maintenance of the Breeze system be made on a limited term basis. And the reason for that is that we do anticipate and expect that the maintenance workload will decline over time, hopefully, as the number of defects in the system are addressed, and there's hopefully less maintenance workload on an ongoing basis. The second piece of that recommendation was to change the allocation of the cost of the Breeze project. So under the proposal, they're proposed to be allocated to all of the releases. We'd suggested just having release 1 and 2 bear the cost of that proposal, because we feel that those are the boards and bureaus that will benefit from the Breeze system, since it's unclear when or if the Release 3 boards and bureaus will come onto the Breeze system. Thank you.
Jeff Carasone, Department of Finance. In response to the LAO's concerns, we will still support the 34 positions on a permanent basis. We feel like they are only satisfying a partial need based on the highest priority changes requested by the boards and bureaus. We know that future legislation will add to ever-changing requirements of the IT system and drive further IT change requests. So for the system to provide the best service to the clients, we recommend the positions on a permanent basis. In regards to which boards and bureaus pay for the system, we think that Release 3 boards are making an investment in the system design that will benefit them when they eventually come onto Breeze or a similar IT solution. Other than that, we support the staff recommendation, which is to approve the April and May finance letters as budgeted.
Although what you clarified right now, I think, helps alleviate some of the concerns on the issue. But why don't we hold this item open? If you don't mind staying here, and Mr. Cooper, you made a motion. If you don't mind, I'll ask you to take the motion back just for now. Thank you. And let's just, if you don't mind staying here, if we are able to get our colleague here to be voting on other items, and if you can address some of the other questions he may have.
With pleasure.
Thank you. And if not, then we'll just hold it open until Thursday. That should be a relatively smooth meeting. So
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last item is the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members. I'm Joanne Wenzel. I'm the chief of the Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education. The Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education respectfully submits this May revision spring finance letter to address its ongoing workload and backlogs. The proposal has 3 parts. First, the Bureau requests $1 million and 10 permanent positions ongoing. Second, the Bureau requests the conversion of 17 limited-term positions to permanent status and the funding to support those positions. And third, the Bureau proposes budget bill language to increase its overtime and temporary help blanket authority by $1 million to address its licensing and enforcement complaint case backlogs. The Bureau's proposal is a direct result of the Bureau of State Audit's 2014 report and Senate Bill 1247, which required the Bureau to submit an independent review of its staffing resource needs to the legislature. To meet that legislative mandate, the Bureau contracted with the human resources consulting firm, CPS, and that CPS report was provided to the legislature on March 15, 2015. The Bureau has taken significant steps to respond to the auditor's findings by implementing process improvements. Some of those process improvements were recommended in the CPS report. This proposal seeks to continue the process improvements already implemented over the past year and to provide the Bureau with the baseline staffing resources it needs to successfully regulate post-secondary institutions and to protect students. And I am here to answer any questions you might have.
Move the item.
Great, that was easy. The only question I had was, can you tell me a little bit more just about the staffing numbers and what's the impact on percentage of staff?
But I don't understand that question.
What's the total number of staff?
They currently have 75 authorized.
Right.
75.
And, and this proposal, they're getting 15 more through SB 1247, a legislative BCP, and then another 10 in this proposal.
Okay.
So it'll bring them up to 100.
And the recommendation, the plan is also to reclassify 17?
Correct. It's to convert 17 limited term to permanent.
Okay. Okay. Any concerns or thoughts from LAO? Or
Helen Kirstein, LAO. We think generally this proposal does appear to be reasonable. The proposed positions are generally consistent with that report that was mentioned, the CPS report. We do just note that there's actually a second part of that report that may be forthcoming very shortly, and so that might provide some additional information. So it may not work very well with the budget process. Hopefully we'll get it within the next day or two, and it could be considered as part of this decision as well. So I think we just wanted to alert the committee that second report is coming.
Okay. Thank you. With that, there's before the motion and a second, what I'd like is just on an ongoing basis, I'd appreciate being updated on, first of all, how the hiring is going, but also be interested a little bit more about how the program is coming along, program implementations are coming along with the increased staffing. So with that, there's a motion and a second. Let's call roll, please.
Nazarian?
Aye.
Wilk?
Aye.
Cooper?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to be here along with members from the DCA, just to see if there's any other questions. Not yet. Thank you. While we're waiting, why don't we go through all and any potential missed votes? So the vote-only calendar item.
We all did it.
Yeah, you guys are doing.
We all did it? Okay.
Eight for me, yeah.
Issue number 8.
Do you need me to read the recommendation?
No, you need to call my name.
Mr. Wilk?
Aye. 11, 12, 13, 14.
Issue number 11.
Wilk?
Aye.
Issue number 12.
Wilk?
Aye.
Issue number 13.
Wilk?
No.
Issue number 14.
Wilk.
Aye.
Why don't we just hold the item open, and we can continue this on Thursday then? Okay, thank you so much. And we will be holding open for a few more minutes. Thank you. So vote only calendar items 1 through 14. Vote only.
Mullen.
And we had separated those items, so voting aye on all. Issue number 4, Department of Human Resources.
Recommendation is to approve May revision proposal. Mullen.
Aye. Issue 5, California Arts Council. Issue was to rescind the original $10 million and conform to the governor's recommendation in the May revision, plus 2 ongoing staff positions at $140,000.
So is there a vote recorded yet?
There is. It's on.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mullen.
Aye.
Mullen.
Aye.
Okay. Issue number 8, under State Controller's Office, other post-employment benefits reporting.
Mullen.
Aye. It's open. It's open. Issue number 11, under the Employment Development Department.
Mullen.
This is my revision proposal. Aye.
Page 35. And then next is page 37. And issue number 12.
Mullen.
Aye.
Under Labor and Workforce Development Agency, issue number 13.
Mullen.
Aye.
And finally, under Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, issue number 14.
Mullen.
Aye.
Oh, there is more.
16.
Under Secretary of State, issue number 16.
Mullen.
Aye.
Under Department of Veterans Affairs, issue number 17.
Mullen.
Under Department of Consumer Affairs, we're holding issue number 18 open until Thursday, issue number 19.
Mullen.
Aye.
Great. With that, we're concluding our meeting for today. Thank you.